Hey everybody, welcome back to another Friday Trucker Money video. This will be Trucker Money number 28, November 16th through the 20th. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. Trucker Money, we talk about all things money outside of trucking, investing, retirement, passive income, everything's on the table. Not financial advice, just me sharing my personal journey. Now, boy, I got a good one for you today, so I hope you decide not to miss any of it. In fact, there's a penalty to be paid for not watching the whole video, and I'm going to prove that to you here in a second. But first, let's get started talking about, first I'd like to talk about what happened this week for me for passive income, investment income, what moves I made for the week. So first off, made a couple dollars off of YouTube, so that's kind of income coming in, small amount. And then somebody used the Mudflap app again for the first time. That's a $10 credit to me and to him. Hope you enjoy your $10 in free fuel. And on a side note, these discounts are getting pretty good. He fueled in, well, one of the guys fueled in Massachusetts, in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, got 58 cents off the pump price. So anytime you can buy fuel for $2 a gallon in Massachusetts, I call that a win. So definitely check out the Mudflap app, promo code DIY Semi to get your $10 in free fuel. And something we don't usually talk about when we talk about that, they also have their own points program. In addition to when you swipe your points card, you get points at the fuel stop. They have an additional points program where, 500 gallons a month, you get so much, and so on and so forth. But check that out when you sign up for, look at the app. So if you look on the board behind me here, I kind of broke it all down what we're going to talk about. Now we got some huge news. This has been a killer week. Big things are happening. Can't wait. December is going to be even better. So we got a massive dividend increase in the passive dividend portfolio this week. Massive. And if it doesn't seem substantial to you, what we're going to talk about later in the video today, if you plug this number into that formula, it's a good deal. We got a huge raise from Aflac, ticker symbol AFL. They are hiking their dividend 17.86%. This might be one of the biggest dividend increases I've ever received. I don't necessarily keep track of that, but this one in my mind strikes me as one of the bigger ones. And I hold a substantial amount of Aflac. I don't talk about it much. Not a lot of exciting news, but I'm really happy with this. It's going to make a huge difference. I did manage to get some money in this week. The last few weeks I haven't done that, been really busy with work. Bought some more Johnson & Johnson at a current yield of 2.75%, some more Southern Company, 4.19%, and a little more Prudential at 5.81%. We got some good payments this week. Procter & Gamble paid at 2.27%. PBCT, it's a regional bank, paid 5.6% yield. Clorox paid with a 2.19% yield. Stag Industrials paid, a real estate industrial REIT, 4.81% yield. And AbbVie paid with a 5.22% yield. Now, last week we talked about the Pfizer deal, the spinoff of Viatris, however you pronounce it. I haven't even heard anybody say the name yet. That did go through. As I said, we would receive 0.12 shares of the new company for every share of Pfizer that I owned. And that did happen. They rounded it off. I got rounded down to the nearest whole number. So it's free. Now I'm calling this Pfizer split a win for me because we talked a little bit about the Pfizer share price might go down. They might decrease the Pfizer dividend. We didn't know what was going to happen completely there. But as of now, I thought they were supposed to pay the dividend this Monday. That didn't happen. So either I read it wrong or they just postponed it a couple weeks. So they didn't pay this Monday, but now I see it's scheduled to pay December 1st. The old dividend amount for Pfizer was 38 cents per quarter. And that is still the new dividend amount. That is on record as of now. So they didn't decrease the dividend. Kind of surprised by that. The share price really didn't change much. I didn't check the share price on Monday right after the spinoff, but I have checked it. It was at $38 and change on Friday when the deal started, and I saw it on like Wednesday for 36 and change, and it was coming back up again. So the share price really didn't change all that much. Now, the Viatris, they spun that off. They don't yet list a dividend, but I received it at $18 and 60 some cents per share. And The share price did come down a little bit. I don't know if I'll buy more. I'm just going to let that be for now till I see what the new company is all about. Although it's a pretty attractive price for a pharmaceutical company. But I'm just going to leave it alone for right now until I can do some more looking into it. Big news with another company we own, PPL, which is a utility company. They're in, they got a big place up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and they also have utilities over in the UK. They are going to be selling off their UK division. Well, back to Pfizer for just a second. We talked about spin-offs and splits can sometimes unlock value. I'm going to go ahead and say that was a win with Pfizer because we got the free shares of the new company and we didn't really take anything away from the Pfizer holding. So we got additional value without any kind of sacrifice. So, you know, that's kind of how you can unlock value. This might happen with PPL. They get rid of that UK division because they've been really heavily affected by Brexit and uncertainty over there. And that's kind of a division that's kind of dragging down the company. So they're going to get rid of that. And after they do, the company that is left here in the United States, they may merge that with somebody or buy out another company. And I'm kind of suspecting it might be a company that I already hold in my portfolio, possibly Southern Company. This is just nobody has said this. I'm just kind of feeling this out on my own. Now this selling off the UK division, they have not said if they are going to then take that money and issue a one-time special dividend to shareholders. What they're going to do, if they're going to get additional shares of a new company, if they merge with somebody. They haven't said anything about what they're going to do with the money. Just kind of waiting to see. Don't even know when it's going to happen. But that's kind of exciting because I think it's going to unlock some value in PPL, and we're going to see some good increase in share price or possibly a really nice special dividend out of those people. Now, the penalty to be paid for not watching these whole videos is right here. Back to Trucker Money number 13. You know, so you can see it down here in the corner. I talked about a purchase I made it was kind of a speculative purchase that I talked about a little bit. It was at the end of the video, so if you didn't watch the whole video, you didn't get this. Right around June, somewhere around there, I bought this, and I just checked it. It is now up 245%. So if you didn't watch that whole video, you missed out on that. It's a company called MindMed. It's a kind of a startup experimental pharmaceutical company. So I'm really happy to see that. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to buy more. I'm not going to do anything. I bought it as a speculative move, and I'm just going to ride it out, see where it goes. Now, what I want to talk about today is something that, if you understand it, the significance of it can really change your planning and your outlook and kind of how you look at things in relation to investing. Now, this can be applied to stocks, real estate, most any kind of investment. We're going to do it in relation to dividend stocks here today. But if you wanted to do it with rental real estate, you would just, instead of share price, you would just use the price of the real estate. And then instead of dividends, you would just use rent and adjust the numbers accordingly. Okay. But understanding this one metric, it's kind of one of the most overlooked metrics in all of investing, if you ask me. Technically, it doesn't matter, but really it does, because you can use it in your planning and kind of set yourself up real nice. And it can also change maybe some thoughts about your strategy of, I don't have to go out and shoot for the moon and double my money on risky investments. If I just buy things with these track records and hold them, I can get to where I need to go with way less risk, way more stability. So let's talk today about yield on cost. Okay, what is yield on cost? Let me redo the board here behind me, and we will start talking about that. All right, I picked a stock out of the portfolio that I hardly ever talk about, just so we can talk about something new and use it for illustrative purposes. I'm not recommending you go out and buy this. This is just to demonstrate the concept, okay? And I put a ton of time into this video, so if you like it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. You're not going to get this information anywhere else. This is something that hardly anybody ever talks about, and I hope to bring you more valuable things like this. So let's talk about, there's two different ways to figure yield on cost. One, well, there's more than two, but there's two main ways. One is simple yield on cost, which would be we invest in an investment and we take the income off it and we don't reinvest it every year or every time it pays out. We just take that money, put it in our pocket, and just let it keep going like that, okay? So Flowers Foods, let's look at the board here, has right now a share price of $21.85. They have a yield of 3.57% with a compound annual growth rate of 6.64%, which means over the last 5 years, on average, they raised their dividend 6.64% per year. And Flowers Foods is a nice company. They have a long history of doing well through tough times, number one, and raising their dividend. So that 3.5% dividend right now is 80 cents a share per year, okay? Now it's paid 20 cents per quarter, quarterly, but we're just going to talk about the yearly dividend right now. And this is just based off the share price numbers today, okay? I'm not doing any fancy math. I'm just pulling something off what the prices are today at this time. So we're going to use one share. We're going to say we buy one share of Flowers Foods, okay? And we're going to do this over a 30-year period to see what yield on cost is after 30 years, okay? Now, year one is going to be simple. We're going to buy one share, $21.85 for a yearly dividend of 80 cents, which would give us, based on one share, we would earn 80 cents our first year for a yield on cost of 3.57%. Now, what yield on cost means is the yield when you buy the stock, okay? Your purchase price will never change. You can buy additional shares later, but we're just talking about this one share we bought this one time. If we bought 5 more shares next week, that would give us a different yield on cost on those particular shares. So we paid $21.85 for this share. So that's the price we have to always use for our yield on cost formula for this one share, okay? Now, the share price is going to change every year. We're just going to assume every year the share price for Flowers Foods goes up 5%. It's a pretty good round number to use for this math, okay? Sometimes it'll go up, sometimes it'll go down, but that will not, going forward, price will not affect our yield on cost. So, if they raise their dividend 6.64% the first year, that will give us a new dividend of 86 cents per year. Now the new share, this is the second year, okay? We still only have one share because we did not reinvest the dividend. Our new share price is $22.94. Our new dividend is 86 cents per year. And we still only have one share, so that's going to give us 86 cents in income. Now, if we take 86 divided by our purchase price of $21.85 that we bought it for last year, we're always going to use our purchase price, we have a new yield on cost of 3.93%. Okay? So let's jump ahead to year 5. And we still only have one share because we're not reinvesting dividends. And the new price after 5 years is $26.75. And the new dividend after 5 years is $1.05 per share per year. We still only have one share. So our dividend, income for the year is still only $1.05. But now our yield on cost, because our yield is going up here, we're earning money every year, but we still only ever paid $21.85 for this one share. Our yield on cost is 4.8% per year. So it's kind of coming up slowly. Let's jump down to year number 20. Still only have one share. Our price is now $57.73 per share. Would be our price after, current price after 20 years. We still only paid $21.85. Our new dividend after 20 years would be $2.94 per share. Still only got one share, so that's still our income for the year, $2.94. Now our yield on cost would be $2.94 divided by our purchase price, not the current price, but our purchase price of $21.85 that you see up there, for a new yield on cost after 20 years of $13.45%. Okay? And I'm going to tell you what you can do with these numbers here in a minute, why they mean anything to you, okay? Why number one, why they don't really matter, and number two, why it's nice to know and it can really help you. The professionals will tell you it don't matter. People that want you to go out and buy growth stocks and all the tech stocks will tell you that doesn't matter. But you judge for yourself, okay? This is about education and judging for yourself. So let's jump down to 30 years. We still only have one share. We're still not reinvesting dividends. The new price is $96.43 per year per share. So you can see over time, we've what? More than tripled our money, just based on share price. So that's a lot of added value, isn't it? Okay. Our dividend, our yearly dividend after 30 years is $5.84 per share. That means for every one share we purchased 30 years ago, we're now earning $5.84. So that means our new yield on cost is 26.74%. That's taking the 584 divided by our purchase price of 21.85 and then times 100. We're earning 26.74% per year on our original investment. Okay? So now, why does this matter? Well, it can help you figure future value of money, future income. So you could reverse engineer this and say, okay, if I wanted $1,000 a month in income, $12,000 a year in income off this particular investment after 30 years for my retirement, how much would I have to originally invest? You could do this math backwards. Okay, so each share, now this is all, again, hypothetical, not advice, just we're learning these formulas here. You could say, well, for each share of Flowers Foods that I buy now, in 30 years, that will make me $5.84. So 12,000 divided by 5.84. That would mean you need to buy 2,054 shares of Flowers Foods now to get that kind of income 30 years from now. Okay, which would be, at 21.85. That would mean you have to invest $44,897 to earn $12,000 a year. So interestingly too, people say, well, CDs and bonds, they only pay 3, 4, 5%. Well, wouldn't this be a way you could earn 26% a year on your money? Granted, it's going to take some time to get there. But now remember with Aflac, with that 17% increase in the dividend. So could you imagine, instead of 6.64% every year increase, if we had a couple years there where we plugged in a 17% increase, you might be looking at an 80% yield on cost here. Right. Okay, so now let's flip to the new, really exciting part and talk about compound yield on cost. Okay, I got to rework this board, and then we're going to see some magic. Stick around, make sure you want to see this. So now let's talk about compound yield on cost, which is what you're going to get if you just kind of let your dividends reinvest and let everything just grow over time. Same principle as the first one. We're just going to use one share, same stock, same growth rate, and yield. One thing to note is on the first one there, I did do some rounding every time I did some math. So if the number, if you're running the calculations and it looks a little different, just know that I did round off. I knocked off some decimal places because this math was just getting intense. And this one, I did the same, maybe just did slightly more rounding. So like the share prices might look slightly different on here than it did on the first one, because I had to cut this math down. This is just for the this board here. I had to actually do all years out to 30 years to make sure we get it right. So just wanted to point that out. So now starting with year one, we're starting with one share of Flowers Foods. Here's the price again. Yearly dividend is 80 cents. So you will earn 80 cents your first year, and your yield on cost will be what you paid for it. Okay. Second year, now because we earned a dividend, we reinvested that 80 cents. That's going to buy us 0.035 more shares of Flowers Foods. So we got to add that in to year number 2. And we also figured a 5% growth in the share price. So now our yearly dividend is 86 cents because it went up by 6.64%. And 1.035 times 0.86 will give us a dividend income of 89 cents per year. Now, if we take 4.07 divided by our 21.85, multiply it times 100, our new yield on cost is 4.07%. Okay, let's jump ahead to year number 10. Reinvesting dividends every year. We now have 1.4 shares at a price of $33.89 is the new price. And that will bring us a yearly dividend of $1.52 off this one share. Or the new dividend rate will be $1.52. Our dividend income will be $2.12 off this one share, which divided out is a 9.73% yield on cost. Cost is what we paid, remember? Okay, let's go down to year 25. So now at year 25, we're at 2.77 shares with a price of $70.46. The yearly dividend is $3.99 per share. So 2.77 times the 3.99 gives us a dividend income off of the one share of $11.05. For a yield on cost of 50.57%. So now, from this point going forward, we're earning at least 50.57% on our initial investment every year. Okay? We're still talking about yield on cost, initial investment. Jump down to the year 30. Gets pretty interesting. Now we're up to 3.62 shares, so we've pretty much 3x'd our share, a little more than 3x the number of shares. The price is now 89.93, which is better than 3 times what we paid for it. So we got some capital appreciation there. The yearly dividend rate would be $5.50. So 3.62 times $5.50, $19.94 income per share off our $21.85 investment. That brings us to a yield on cost of 91.25%. So if we have 30 years to wait, we could theoretically nearly make back our original investment every year going forward. We're basically, year 31 would put us well over 100%. So at 31 years, we're doubling our initial investment every year, and then some because of compounding. So why is this important? So theoretically, using this formula in this math of yield on cost, we can estimate what we want to save for retirement, what we need to save for retirement. So, call it 100% for math in my head. If we're at 100% yield on cost every year, logically, we could step back 30 years and say, okay, if I want $50,000 a year in income 30 years from now, at 100% yield on cost, I would need to invest $50,000, right? 100% of 50,000 is 50,000. It's not far-fetched. This is a 6.64% is a sustainable compound annual growth rate. You will find some 3M, Honeywell, some of the different companies I own that are much higher than that. You just saw Aflac raise their dividends 17.86%. Next year they may only raise it 9%, but it's going to average out, okay? And you can set yourself up with a nice income. Now if you're trying to figure it out on rental property, maybe over here you would have the purchase price of your rental and what it would appreciate to every year, maybe your yearly rents, and I don't know, what you might skip that income part and just figure your percentage of income off your rental property every year. So it's an interesting exercise, and once I fully understood this, it really reinforced my efforts to become more of an income investor rather than going out and trying to catch all the next hot growth stocks and the next hot tech stocks. So I hope that was useful to you. And if you like this kind of thing, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and check out the videos on the screen now for more videos just like this one. Have a great day.